Hey, what's going on? It's a little bit late. I didn't get a chance to do a stream earlier because work. It happens. But I can do at least about 45 minutes of work today on this. And again, I do apologize, but pre-deployment stuff is just getting out of hand. Like I should be away for like 9 months starting November. So we're just getting ready to go. And as usual, the content's not gonna change. I'll do what I can. Let's rock. So oh, we just did the intro. Fuck. Okay. Oh, okay. This is the gaze as an ancient fear. So we'll be talking about the eyes. Ooh. All right. As I mentioned before, always keep an iPad filled with your notes right in front of you. Definitely gonna need it for this one. All right. So 45 minutes because I do have to do some sprite animation later. Still practicing on that. Okay, before surveillance cameras, before monitors and blinking red lights, there were eyes in the dark, watching beyond the light, and we feared them. Before surveillance cameras, before monitors and blinking red lights, there were eyes in the dark, watching beyond the light, and we feared them. Interesting. We can add more to that. This is Resident Evil 0. This is Training Hall 1. Training Facility 1. I can hear the Leech Man. I can hear him. Okay. Big human. Human relationship with gaze. Human relationship with gaze is primal. Before language. Okay. Eye contact. When more so, not me. I don't care if someone stares at me like I'm staring at that camera right there. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. But back in the day, eye contact could be seen as asserting dominance over somebody. People didn't like that. So, how would you feel if there's some entity watching you from the shadows and you can't see them? Which is, oh yeah, we can definitely do that. Okay. So long before language, eye contact, signal dominance. This actually plays a good. All right, this is gonna work. Signal dominance. The meme that I can't spell when it matters. Signal dominance. Dominance, submission, and a threat. Which, again, this is the perfect song because as soon as Billy and Rebecca get into Training Hall 1, how am I calling it Training Hall? Training Facility 1, immediately they're being observed on camera by Birkin and Wesker. They don't know they're being observed, but they sure the hell are being observed. Then after that, Marcus is observing them. There we go. There's your tie-in. There's your tie-in to that. I got an idea for a new video, but we'll get to that later. Oh, speaking of which, so as usual, I do prioritize requests, but I actually don't have a request right now, believe it or not. My last request was the You and Echo video, which got released a couple days ago. So I'm doing my own thing on my own projects. But if a request comes in, those will take top priority. But unfortunately, due to shenanigans from work the other day, I had to do a 24-hour shift. I wasn't able to actually do lore files. So I'll try to release a lore file video this weekend, which is pretty much just me narrating files from horror games. I've done that in the past a lot. But those take time. Those actually take a lot of time because I have to source the files. I have to play through the. I don't even need to play through the whole game. I just play through a certain section of a game. So that takes a bit. Other lore like the anime, Fate, like Type Moon, all that fun jazz. The fighting game lore, character lore, like we'll do some, but as of now, I'm just working on my projects. Only two projects right now, which is Golden Sun, which is the long-term project, and this one. So I contact signaled dominance, submission. But yeah, if you have any requests, just let me know. 9 times out of 10, I will probably know. Signal dominance, submission, and threats. So what I can do is for my next video, well, at least horror themed video, I can probably try to do parallels between three horror antagonists. It's IRL. That'd be an interesting one. Or it wasn't just submission. There wasn't just observation. It was a it was a challenge, a warning. Before surveillance cameras, before monitors and blinking red lights, there were eyes in the dark, watching beyond the light, and we feared them. The human relationship of gaze is primal. Long before language, eye contact signaled dominance, submission, and threat. A stare wasn't just observation, it was a challenge, a warning, a countdown. Okay. We can do. We can get started with it now. I think aloud, don't mind me. Hmm. Okay. All right. Always stretch. Okay, so So the first one is the Eye of Providence. Again, always keep an iPad. You just never know what can come in handy, especially for note taking. This iPad Air 2 cost me $50. It's lasted me a long, long time. Work. Okay. All right. The Eye of Providence. Conspiracy theory one. Okay. Fuck? Oh. OBS disconnected and reconnected. Interesting. This song's supposed to be over. Give me a second. I know this is like a 15-minute song. Ooh. RNG back. Oh, man, fuck this boss. I do have to admit, since I'm trying to become an officer, if and when it happens, I will get Billy's tattoo on my right arm. It's gonna happen. I've kind of got it done a long time ago, but I wanted to wait until I was an actual officer to get it. I will pop off. But anyway, screw this boss. Secret in design, oppressive and implication. The all-seeing eye that sees what you hide. The Eye of Providence, a triangle of divinity and judgment, watching from above, sacred in design, oppressive in implication. The all-seeing eye that sees what you hide, not what you show. I like it. The Eye of Horus is next. All right. My favorite Yu-Gi-Oh archetype. His eyes of mine are not getting any better. I'm old. I'm very, very old. The Eye of Horus. Hmm. People were talking outside my door. All right, I'm gonna switch songs. I like this theme, but that final portion makes it seem like this fucking toilet. Someone flushing the toilet. Uh, yeah, these are all. Wow, it's literally all Resident Evil Zero. Which I'm fine with. Yeah, I'm fine with Resident Evil Zero. Resident Evil Zero's hype. Uh, sure. Ooh, no, no, I'm joking. Fuck no. Fuck no. All right. All right. The Leechman, he's traumatized me. A market protection, but also surveillance. I don't worry about that. That'd be very interesting if someone actually would do that. Damn, that's a very funny thought. But yeah, that's actually very interesting. That's a very interesting thing right there. Yeah, I never really thought about that, but I'm not too worried about that. At the end of the day, this is funsies. So, oh, that's actually really funny. Like someone would really have to go out of their way just to do that. Interesting. Oh well, but yeah, I'm not too worried about that. Okay. Anyways, where were we? So we were on the Eye of Horus. The Eye of Horus. So the Eye of Horus, market protection, but also surveillance. God's gaze. God's gaze that follows you. A God's gaze that follows you in death. A God's gaze that follows you. That's why I stream. That's why I stream these because it's always going to be on my streaming section. So if anybody ever tries to steal it, I'm like, I wrote all these essays in like real time, so someone would really have to go out of their way to actually steal it. That's I give them I give them a lot of credit if they actually get away with that. But yeah, that's why I stream these. It's like for verification purposes, and it's always going to be on YouTube. So, oh, oh, all right. So the Eye of Horus, a mark of protection, but also a surveillance, a god's gaze that follows you in death. That follows you into death, to weigh your soul. I could have used Ra, but Horus is fine. All right, your soul. And now, the evil eye is pretty self-explanatory. So, evil eye. It's funny, like the evil eye, they implemented it into Yu-Gi-Oh, and the Horus series is a Yu-Gi-Oh series as well. So I'm like, wow, okay, all right. Anyways, the evil eye, the evil eye. So, cursed past, cursed passed through, cursed passed through glance, cursed passed through glance. So the evil eye is just not, it's not like situated in just one area. The evil eye has been everywhere. It through every continent there's a form of the evil eye. So so faced across, oops, I didn't even notice that. Faced across continents. Faced continents, across, no, different cultures. Weird. Because it wanted. So just being watched wasn't enough. Okay. So let's read this section again. Um, excuse me. Before surveillance cameras, before monitors and blinking red lights, there were eyes in the dark, watching you beyond the light, and we feared them. The human relationship with gaze is primal. Long before language, eye contact signaled dominance, submission, and threat. A stare wasn't just observation, it was a challenge, a warning, a countdown. Ancient cultures turned that fear into symbol and story. The eye of providence, a triangle of divinity and judgment watching from above, sacred in design, oppressive in implication. The all-seeing eye that sees what you hide, not what you show. Pretty much the conspiracy eye. The Eye of Horus, a mark of protection, but also surveillance, a god's gaze that follows you into death, to the death of your soul. The evil eye, a curse passed through glance, faced through time in different cultures, feared because it demanded nothing but to destroy you. Just being watched isn't enough. Okay, so I think that's good. We don't need to go that much into detail about it just because the case studies are the main focus of this. So Slender, Silent Hill 3, and Village. So just having a brief explanation of these, this is fine. Okay. I got like 25 more minutes left. All right. So horror inherits this mythology. Horror inherits this mythology. but it strips it of its divinity. Horror inherits its mythology, but strips it of its divinity. The eye becomes corrupted. The eye becomes corrupted. The eye becomes corrupted. Ancient watchers. The gaze of ancient watchers doesn't offer the gaze of ancient watchers doesn't offer guidance. Doesn't offer guidance. It exposes. And again, using Resident Evil Zero as an example, as soon as you get into the training facility, I didn't say hall this time. As soon as you get into the training facility, Birkin and Wesker, what are they doing? They're immediately observing you via camera. Lily and Rebecca don't know that they're being watched. Then cue Marcus, like out of nowhere. Exposes. Okay. It exposes. In horror. In horror games, this is where it begins. In horror games, this is where it begins. Not with the scream. Not with the scream. Not with the scream. But not with the scream, but with the feeling that something something ancient, unseen, and possibly patient is watching you. I don't like the way that's gonna. I don't want to end the sentence right there. What the fuck? It will. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm gonna read this over, then let's switch songs in the meantime. Resident Evil 2 Remake had very godlike music. Um, ooh, Star's Office. Okay. Before surveillance cameras, before monitors and blinking red lights, there were eyes in the dark, watching beyond the light, and we feared them. The human relationship with gaze is primal. Long before language, eye contact signaled dominance. I gotta pause right there, so hold on. Long before language, eye contact signaled dominance, submission, and threat. A stare wasn't just observation, it was a challenge, a warning, a countdown. Ancient cultures turned that fear into symbol and story. The eye of providence, a triangle of divinity and judgment watching from above, sacred in design, oppressive in implication. The all seeing eye that sees what you hide, not what you show. The eye of Horus, a mark of protection, but also surveillance, a god's gaze that follows you into death, into the depth of your soul. This is why I proofread a lot. The evil eye, a curse passed through glance, faced through time in different cultures. Faced through time in different cultures. Feared because it demanded nothing but to destroy you. Just being washed isn't enough. Horror inherits this mythology, but strips away its divinity. The eye becomes corrupted. The gaze of ancient watchers doesn't offer guidance, it exposes. In horror games, this is where it begins. Not with the scream, but with the feeling that something ancient, unseen, and impossibly patient is watching you, and you will never look away. I like it. So I'm doing this a little bit different than my other videos, mostly because there's technically two mythology tie-ins with this, two different sections. But we needed to add this just because the ancient aspect of it. Because ancient cultures did view the eye as a sign of divinity. So the eye of providence, the eye of Horus, the evil eye being three of them. There's obviously more. It's like Argus, but we're not talking about Argus because I'm keeping things at 3 apiece. So later on in the passage, obviously not today, but later on in the passage, we're going to be talking about the Greek mythology aspect of it, Shinto, and which one was the third one again? Can't remember what the third one was. It's been a little bit since I saw my outline, but I can get back to that later. Medusa, Amaterasu, Ra. Yeah, Ra. Okay. So yeah, we're technically doing like 2 different sections of mythology tie-ins, which is definitely different from what I normally do, but I feel the more information we have on the subject matter, the better it's going to be for us. All right. So, introduction. The gaze is an ancient fear, and now my favorite, because we always have to tie in the brain, but specifically we're going to be talking about the Amygdala this time, which is the brain sphere center, that little peanut-shaped thing in your dome that regulates fear. We're only going to be talking about the Amygdala this time, but we talk about the brain a lot in these videos. To the point I wonder why didn't I just get my master's in the fucking human body at like this point? I read a lot. I definitely read a lot. And we're not gonna regurgitate information that I pretty much bring up in every single video because I use the brain a lot. So we're not gonna go into extreme detail. I'm not gonna give like a Spark Notes version of it. I'm still gonna go in depth, but not as much as I normally do. So if I remember correctly, again, I don't have an outline up, but I think it was, I don't have it. I think it was your brain knows you're being watched, which was gonna tie into the Amygdala. So the brain knows you're being watched, or something along those lines. Damn, I can't wait for that one day where someone tries to use my essays and pass it off as their own. I'm like, all right, do you care to explain your sources? I mean, here's my YouTube channel. There's me writing this out, like word for word. Wow, I would have to give them a lot of like credit there. That's a lot of work. But at the end of the day, I have fun doing these. Like follower count don't matter to me as long as I'm having fun. The people who watch these videos, the few Hey, you learn something. Everybody wins. All right, so the brain knows you're being watched. We're gonna go with that because again, I still have my outline in front of me right now. I was more focused on getting the ancient fear done, but I still have like 10 more minutes left, so I guess I can get this started. So, and again, I'm using Bugs Bunny as a reference point. I know it's kind of a silly thing to bring up, but if you remember in your Saturday morning cartoons, he'd always bring up that saying, have you ever had the feeling you were being watched? The brain knows you're being watched. So the fear of being watched isn't just story or superstition. And again, I apologize, but work had me pretty busy today, so that's why I didn't do a stream during my break time. But I'm gonna try to get as much time for these essays as possible. It's just have to factor in work because obviously work takes priority. Have to factor in work, pre-deployment stuff. I still have to study on sprite animation, which is going really good. But this is a lot of things that I'm doing right now. Like life has gotten pretty busy since we found out we were getting deployed. Fear of being washed isn't just story or superstition. I with that usual or superstition. Wow. It is written. It is written into the very wiring of the brain. I like it, but I might have to. I'll be on the fence on that one. I might have to change that later. So again, the Amgala, the little peanut-shaped thing in your brain, is your brain's fear center. It's the Amgala. Your fear center. Okay, so God, I can't think of the name. I know there's a phobia for it, but some people are just afraid of looking at people directly in the eyes. So, in a sense, the stare can trigger your Amgala, can put it into hypervigilance. Deep within your skull, oops, deep within your skull is the Amgala, your fear center. Instantly reacts instantly. Visualize. And we've touched upon the Amgala a lot. And it doesn't have to be just like your eyeballs. Like any portrait, like I gave you the ref again. I'm gonna be using Saturday morning cartoons because they do this a lot. Like a episode of Scooby Doo. They're in the random haunted mansion of the week. You'll have a very stern looking portrait, a very intimidating looking portrait, with which the focus is on the eyes. You'll have the gang walking right past it, but they don't notice that the eyes are staring them. So it doesn't have to be real eyes. Like any form of like ocular, ocular. It's ocular. Sorry. Any point of damage on a blank. Anyways, any point of anything that has to involve the eyes, it doesn't have to be real. Your Amgala will go into hypervigilance, and it can be faces, portraits. Me personally, mannequins. I fucking hate mannequins. Can't stand them, especially mannequins. So your fear center instantly. Your fear center instantly reacts instantly to eyes. Not just real eyes. Not just real eyes. But shapes that look like eyes. I feel bad for like the people that have like phobia of eyes. Like that's a scary one. Give an example of this. Faces. So they look like eyes. So faces, portraits. Portraits being the big one. Portraits, statues. I gotta bring it up, even mannequins, especially with me. Not stand mannequins. The fear of being washed isn't just a story or superstition. It is written into into the very wiring of the brain. Deep within your skull is the amygdala, your fear center. Reacts instantly to eyes. I'm gonna rephrase that. Not just real eyes, but shapes that look like eyes, faces, portraits, statues, even mannequins can set off that ancient alarm. What a soul sort of can. What a soul, yeah, in a sense. Cortisol is seen as a stress hormone. I'll have to confirm that just to be on the safe side. I'm not going to write it down just because I want to be on the safe side, but we'll see. Anyways, I got to get moving. So good stuff. Tomorrow, if I have more time before my lunch break, well, during my lunch break, I'll stream some more. So anyways, see y'all later and have a good rest of your night. Take care.